comic book friends. I'm Travis.
And I'm Ethan.
And this is
Monster Comic Reviews.
That's right, this is the second half of the third week of July. And we're going to talk about Nightwing number 11, Time to Die. Bum, bum, bum.
If only. Yeah, I guess it was okay. At least this cover, I mean, it still has him getting his butt kicked, but he's not bloody and totally beat up like he was in all the other covers,
right?
So we find out that Paragon's not really, to some degree, somebody who hides out in an abandoned clock tower and has high tech and, zaps people out of balconies isn't necessarily a good guy. But he is really not a good guy as he drops a clock face on tons of people.
Oh, and potentially a bunch of innocent people, right?
Yeah, I guess this book was just kind of I don't really have
purges all of his minions when his minions decide that he's a bit crazy. Yeah.
It's just kind of The only part that I really liked about it, it had a little bit of redeeming quality because in the last time we reviewed this, we complained about how Nightwing, his little sticks had little nubs on them.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that made a little bit more sense considering the fact that they slide out to become big electric sticky batons, but otherwise...
Which I hate. I liked it when he just has the sticks. He has the basic martial art thing that he uses, not big,
Zappy sticks?
Not oversized baby rattles that that are stun guns at the same time. I don't care for that at all.
Yeah, it wasn't, I'm not sure if it even was okay. It was just kind of bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I'm curious to see how the arc ends. I can't remember if we actually are getting the next issue to know how the arc ends. But I'm curious about that. The only thing that interests me in this really was the brief, 2 pages, page and a half of him being turned down to get his loan to open up the thing. The potential of their relationship between the banker, who of course is the daughter of the crime family who murdered Dick's parents. That's the only thing in this that really interests me that much. This villain is whatever. They tie this back to a bunch. I'll give them credit for trying to tie this whole thing back to some things that happened in some of the first issues of the comic. So obviously, Kyle Higgins, the writer, has a plan, has a long-term story arc and short-term story arcs. It just doesn't interest me a whole lot. The personal relationship thing interests me, but this whole why is somebody setting him up to make him look like a bad guy?
Yeah.
Whatever. Like I said, I guess I had the same review of this as a whole as I had last time.
Yeah, I give it a 2.
Yeah, it's a strong 2. Week 3. I'm not interested anymore. I'm just not interested in Nightwing. I'm not interested in what he has going on, so it doesn't have a lot of appeal.
Yeah. Okay. Next up we have Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue 11.
I didn't like the last issue as they're moving this whole Starfire thing. I was kind of like, whatever. I don't know. This is really. I like this issue.
Yeah.
It was almost a complete turnaround for me. The story's told through Roy's eyes. And Roy comes across even more not like a total idiot, even though he's telling the story. He's kind of screwing off, telling him a long version of a story about what he knows about Coriander, about Starfire, where they're at, what kind of heroes they are, and what kind of hero she is. I love the fact that she's going, you know what? I don't think I want to save these people. Screw them. They didn't do me any favors. Why should I be doing them any favors?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. She feels some indebtedness to the people that are on the ship with her. So she helped make sure they didn't get screwed by these bad guys that are, the aliens that are taking over our planet.
Yeah.
So she helps destroy all of them and whatnot.
That was pretty great. The fact that their ship is, it's kind of on fire.
It's tore up, but
it's torn up, and then there's, the entire battle fleet around her that's
annihilated
totally
pretty much, or running away. Right.
Uh-huh.
So I like that. I like the fact she's like, I don't know, I'm not, into this or whatnot, and I like what Roy has to say to her about whether or not she chooses to do it or not. That's up to her. I even find Jason Todd's date that accidentally got sucked up on the ship. She's pretty funny too.
I love it. Our date was really boring.
Really boring. Yeah.
Really?
So yeah. I'm curious to see what happens next issue. Sure enough, we get to see Corey's sister. Sure enough, Corey's sister's a bad guy, just like she almost always is. So there's no surprise there. But this is turning out better than I maybe thought it was. Whereas last month I was thinking, boy, this book's very mediocre, and it's on my list of I may not pick it up again just because it's starting to get dull. Because I like the Jason Todd Red Hood Batman Family Inc. kind of stuff that was there. I like the way this writer's been writing that. And then we were kind of moving away from that. I think the whole Court of the Owls thing kind of threw them off their game, off the kind of momentum that felt like they had going.
Yeah.
This feels like we kind of picked up something again. They've exposed something about these other characters that make them interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah, pretty much what you said. I liked it. I like the fact that we see some of the other species of aliens out there, because does DC, I mean, I guess maybe like the Lantern books, but otherwise, does DC really have any books that are outer space?
No. The Lantern Corps stuff would be my guess, would be the only thing that ventures into that. Otherwise, there isn't anything. Yeah. Whereas we missed that because, of course, it used to be the Rebels and stuff like that that had all that stuff.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool, seeing the other races and their different attributes. So it's cool to see some of the other aliens. You know, the Dominator. He's
Legion. There must be Legion, right? Is that book still? That book hasn't been canceled, has it?
Oh.
There's Legion Lost, and Legion,
That's
right? Aren't there those two books?
So they were so bad that I kind of erased them.
Well, we never even got Legion. But so Legion must still be dealing with the alien races to some degree. Legion Lost probably isn't, only because, of course, they're stuck on Earth. Okay, anyway.
So it's cool seeing the Dominator, because he was one of the more mainer characters in Rebels. But that was, yeah.
But yeah. So what would we rate this book?
I'd give it a solid 3, almost a 4, not quite.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3. It was a double rate. There wasn't anything earth-shattering in it and whatnot, but it redeemed itself from last issue where I was thinking, oh man. Okay, next we're going to talk about The Secret History of D.B. Cooper, number 5, the final issue.
Oh, this is an awesome series. This is pretty great.
Yeah, it was.
So we find out that D.B. Cooper is mostly a double agent because of his need to help Donna and continue on with that quest, that search, because, you know, the CIA, we find out that the agent that he keeps tussling with didn't know anything about them taking in Donna as
he wasn't a double agent, and he didn't
collateral.
Right.
And D.B. Cooper's only kind of a double agent. I mean, kind of. Like, he gave the Russians, for instance, the
crappy technology.
Crappy technology.
Right.
Technology that you don't come back out of once you go into.
Right.
Totally cuts the guy from Russia up.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of spar a little bit, and he just slices the guy.
Yeah.
This was a great end to the series. I was totally happy with it. I totally called the fact that Lee, the little teddy bear that's been following him around this entire time, is Donna, his daughter. But, you know, it's not like I was completely positive, because, you know, we did keep seeing
the daughter.
Donna in other places.
Right.
And it also made sense to me that that was one of D.B. Cooper's projections and one of his, I guess, hallucinations of the gut, because, you know, that's part of his thing. Being in the gut is his desperate urge to find.
Right. And of course the gut keeps leaking out of him.
The gut keeps leaking out of him.
Which there's a whole other problem that he's got to figure out how to deal with. This is the whole...
The story that D.B. Cooper jumped off the plane, right, with the money and whatnot, is a cover story that was written by the CIA, because D.B. Cooper pops the gut out and kills a few passengers and then jumps out of the plane.
Right.
Never to be seen again.
It disappears, right.
And they released Donna from custody, right?
Right, because they don't need him as leverage. They don't need her as leverage anymore,
because Cooper's gone. And they released it to Cooper's dad, her grandfather. So that was a nice touch there. And we find out, as previously said, the bear is his daughter.
Right.
So they continue to travel the gut, and it sounds like instead of Cooper jumping out of the plane and dying, that he merged his...
He goes into the gut.
Yeah.
He physically takes his form in the gut.
Yeah.
To close the portal that's starting to leak all this crap out and mix the gut, our psychic dimension into our dimension. Yeah, he closes it by basically making himself
into the
through
gut.
it to plug it up. Right.
So now he travels the gut with the gut version of his daughter, Donna.
Right. Yeah.
So that was a great ending. I totally liked it.
Very cool ending.
It was a great series too.
Yeah. Did you see the redacted letter at the very end of this one?
It's completely blacked out, right?
Right. It just says Mr. Churla, completely blacked out, and then it's got the MP3 at the bottom of it. I've listened to most of the MP3 I listened about halfway through it. I posted it on Twitter. I haven't gone back to actually listen to it again. I listened to a little bit of it. And it's just as weird as all the others are. So, at any rate, very enjoyable book. I hope they put it out in trade. If they put it on trade, I recommend people go and pick it up if you like kind of strange, weird,
It's a good
Philip
series.
K. Dickian kind of, where's reality and not reality kind of a thing. Definitely enjoyable. Produced by an interesting creator that I hope we see more of.
Yeah. What would you rate it? I give it a 5.
Yep, I would too. It ended great. The whole. I would give the whole story
Series
itself.
of 5.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely enjoyable. Definitely liked it. So what are we talking about next?
Okay. Last up we
Nope.
have Nope, not quite. Never mind. Second to last up we have Supergirl issue 11. What do you think?
I'm enjoying the comic. I enjoyed this issue. I continue to really love the art. I just think the art gets better and better as the book goes along. I think the artist obviously gets more and more comfortable with what he's doing and whatnot. This issue was kind of, if you jumped in on this issue, I think Easy Reader jumped in on this issue. I can understand why he didn't. I understand why he didn't like it so much. It just kind of felt like it was kind of in the middle of something, because it really was. It was really more of an issue going from what has happened prior to this to where she needs to go forward from. I don't know that this villain makes a lot of sense. He's somebody showed up that's supposed to be messing with her. Who his bosses are, we don't really know that.
No.
I think we're going to come to find that out later on, maybe. She gets to refine her power some more. We find out where she she still has issues and whatnot. But this story gives her the momentum to go, okay, these are my friends, but I can't hang out with them anymore right now. I really need to get the rest. I need to get the rest of my stuff together, so I have my stuff together and go from there. So this attack gives her the impetus to do that and move forward. So I enjoyed it for that. What'd you think?
I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked the way that the guy with the nanotechnology looks. He looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, watching her laser beam a hole through.
Basically gave him a lobotomy or something, right?
Yeah, through his head. that was pretty great.
Yeah.
I like the fact that her date with Tom is fairly awkward, because it's not like they can really speak to each other. The fact that they're going on a date in the first place.
Right.
And she just kind of grabs the pizza.
Right. Well, she doesn't know. But to me, to some degree, that makes sense. And it also then makes me think, okay, so they didn't have restaurants on Krypton?
Yeah.
I mean, what? People walk around with food, you just took it whenever you wanted to, you took everybody's food? So I'm of two minds of that. Part of me says, come on.
Yeah.
And part of me goes, well, I guess alien culture, maybe it truly is alien, and so therefore she wouldn't know, but...
Yeah. Sounds like next issue, she and Superman are going to be face-off.
Again.
Frankly, I really hope she beats the crap out of him. I mean, it's not like I have anything against Superman, I just think it'd be fun to see Supergirl beat the crap out of him. So what'd you rate it?
I give it a solid 3.
Yep, I give it a solid 3 too.
Yep, it was enjoyable. Okay, now last we are going to talk about Wonder Woman number 11. What'd you think?
So things really start to heat up in this. It starts out with Zola seeing her own doctor, not necessarily one of Wonder Woman's or anybody else's.
I love it when
super
she's
awesome
dressed
doctor.
up. She's still wearing her uniform. You can see her boots, but she's wearing that kind of cool 60s style type coat with her headband tucked away someplace. That was
pretty great. So and then really bad stuff starts to happen. So what is her name?
Which one?
The Harvest and
Artemis and
Artemis. There we go. Artemis and the goddess of harvest, whatever her name is.
Dina,
whatever. And they confirm, they talk about how somebody needs to fill the throne.
Otherwise, chaos will ensue. Yeah.
So then really bad stuff happens. There's an eclipse, right? And as soon as I saw that eclipse in the comic book, I was just like, oh no, because I was thinking that, at first, I was thinking it'd just be Artemis, and it struck me as I was reading through it, the way gods are, because they do portray gods being like they are in mythology. The way gods are, Apollo would never let Artemis
just blot him out.
Like that, unless they were working together.
Yeah.
So they show up on their Uber bike.
They're on a trike. They're on a trike, a motor trike. Yeah.
And pretty much the
The
group,
moon and the sun basically come to collect.
and they beat the crap out of everybody, pretty much. And obviously they're tough, because Apollo takes a direct punch from Wonder Woman like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Artemis proceeds to beat the crap out of,
She crushes him.
yeah,
She actually puts a fist print in his chest.
yeah,
And he basically says at the end, I am no good to you
Yeah.
anymore. I think he's potentially dead.
oh really? Yeah, that might be, as it happens. And she also beats up
Yeah, she pretty much guts
Hermes.
Hermes, the messenger. Yeah.
Yeah, and Zola hits Apollo with a car.
With a truck.
Zola hits,
She
yeah,
hits him
a
with a
truck.
truck.
She hits him with a truck, right? And that doesn't work. So then, for some reason, she steps out of the car and she proceeds to blast away with a shotgun.
Well, I
blank.
yeah, I appreciate the fact that she's like, no mess around. You see her in the crowd, and you see her running off and getting in a vehicle. You think, oh, well, she's gonna be smart. She's gonna run away and let Wonder Woman and them slow him down. No, instead she drives the truck around, smacks it into him, right? Goosh! I mean, he doesn't even phase him. I mean, the truck just folds.
He's just kind of like, what?
The truck folds around him, and he's like looking like, oh, good, she's here.
Right.
She's stepping out, pumping the shotgun, lets
And
loose.
blast him in the face.
Right in the face. Of course, still doesn't phase him.
Doesn't
you
do
know?
anything. You know, I don't know why you'd
Right. Why would
bother
you
to shoot somebody after you hit them with a truck and that doesn't work.
Right, because you're still pissed.
I don't know. But it was pretty awesome. So they take her to Hera. Right, they're like, we're going to ascend to the throne.
Who's
now.
basically giving the throne up
Mm-hmm.
just to get Zola and this baby.
Yeah.
She's gonna let Apollo take the throne. Oh, sure, you can have the throne. I just want this bastard child of my husband who's disappeared.
But it also sounds like what the prophecy is the
One of
next
these
child of Zeus
Could be a
will-
god killer.
Yeah. So that's interesting, but of course, you know what? Wonder Woman's a child of Zeus too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. How do you
Yeah.
know? How do you know?
And she shows up on the throne with Hermes.
Right. Pretty pissed off at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, she seems pretty
I don't
mad.
know what she's gonna be able to do, but it's cool. It was cool. It looked cool. I flipped that last page and I'm like, oh man, Wonder Woman's such a badass. Plus, I like Strife.
Strife is pretty great.
I thought when they first introduced her, I'm like, oh, this character's just gonna just be a pain in the ass. Strife. She's just gonna be the person that's an antagonist the entire time. Oh no, I like her.
Yeah.
She's playing a game with everybody and having a really good time. To her namesake. I mean, this is going to work in Wonder Woman's favor, I think, to some degree. But at some point, she's going to screw with Wonder Woman too because she is Strife.
Yeah.
That's her base nature. But yeah.
Strife's done lots of fun things.
And
like
of course,
questioning Hera's rule.
the art in this one was Cliff Chang, so that makes it extra doubly good. Not that Aiken's the guy who fills in for Cliff. I think does an admirable job too.
Yeah.
But it's not Cliff Chang.
Nope.
Yeah, great book.
Yep.
This is probably my favorite book of the month, or of this week anyway.
I agree.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. What would we rate this book?
I'd give it a 4.
Almost a 5. Yeah. We had the finish of the last issue was the finish of that story, and this story basically just boom,
Bam.
right going again. We get one page of them set, and they're going, "Yep, she's going to the doctor. I don't like this, blah blah," blah. And then all hell breaks loose. The bigger plot comes forward again. We have this smaller plot with the whole getting married, potentially married thing, going to hell thing. That was kind of a weird side plot. Now we're back to the main plot again with the, what's Apollo up to? How's this all going to work itself out and whatnot? And I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Great stuff. Anyway, that's it for this week. Hopefully we'll catch you next week. I've still got another week of hell at work where I'm working all the time. But I managed to get this video out, so I'm sure I'll manage to get the other video out too. And we'll see you next week.